Hey YouTube, Jim here. Welcome to Top 10 Archive. Despite being almost 2,000 miles long, the U.S.-Mexico border only touches 4 states. If you live anywhere else in the country, you might picture it as a regular checkpoint. That's one side of it, but there are plenty of scary facts about the U.S.-Mexico border that you probably didn't know, which is today's topic for discussion.
Number 10. La Bestia. There's something scarier and more deadly on the Mexican border than just the chupacabras. A beast that kills people every day. A real one, I say. So, what is this monster? La Bestia, which translates literally to the beast, is the freight train that crosses Mexico. There are no passengers on it except those that jump on the rail cars. Not only does La Bestia go super fast, but it also often derails and stops for no one. Thousands die trying to get on and off all the time. Number 9. The Children's Holding Facilities. Many are enthusiastic about holding anyone that crosses the U.S.-Mexico border in custody. But how many truly know what the conditions are like in these holding facilities? A group of reporters was sent into them this year in Donna, Texas, to find children in overcrowded cells and their legal processes entirely stalled. Some were in playpens or cages under foil blankets. Not to mention, this all during a pandemic, when social distancing is said to help stop the spread of the virus. Though it was designed for 250 people to be held at one time, reporters found that at peak capacity, it held around 4,000. Number 8. Lightning. They say you're just as likely to get struck by lightning as you are to win the lottery. Southern Arizona locals will tell you that during monsoon season, that's not quite the case. In fact, the World Health Organization reports that Mexico has more lightning strike deaths than any other country, killing about 223 people every year. In 2006, a Border Patrol agent was responding to a report of a car accident with his partner when they were both sent flying into the air. He experienced heat and pain in his abdomen, and it took a while for him to realize they'd been struck by lightning. They weren't the first or the last, and sadly, many of the victims don't survive. Number 7. Sexual assault. As if the trip across the border wasn't dangerous enough already, with La Bestia, smugglers, and border agents who often shoot to kill, it's reported that 80% of women also suffer sexual assault on their journey. Possibly the most shocking part is that it's so normalized that women take birth control before and during their journey to prevent unwanted pregnancies from rape. Number 6. Abductions. The National Human Rights Commission in Mexico published a report on immigrant abductions and kidnappings that shocked the community. Since victims leave home and their families don't expect to hear from them until they've crossed, long gaps in communication are expected. This is a great opportunity for abductions, and there are definitely those who take advantage. So, what's the report say? Between April and September 2010, in just 6 months, the reported number of abduction victims was 11,333. Many of these victims are women and children, and end up in sex work, slavery, or held ransom and killed. Number 5. Mass graves and cartels. This one seems pulled directly from a Breaking Bad episode. In 2010, 72 Central and South American migrants were found in a mass grave with signs of torture and an execution shot to the back of the head. Of the group, 3 survived after faking their deaths. They told their story that otherwise would have been buried in that mass grave. As it turns out, the migrants had refused to work for the drug cartel Los Zetas, and, having no way to pay a ransom, were killed. If there's anything we've learned, is that to be a migrant on the U.S.-Mexico border is the most dangerous position to be in, regardless of which side of the country you're on. Number 4. Locked in cells to die. Regardless of anyone's immigration status, their human rights remain valid in custody. This means that they have the right to see a doctor if they are ill, the right to food and water, among other things. In Border Patrol facilities, these rights are often ignored, as is the case of Carlos Gregorio Hernandez, who was diagnosed with the flu and had a fever of 103 degrees. For any child in a loving home, that's a sign to go to the emergency room. Instead, he was placed in a cell with another boy, also ill, to be monitored for improvement. The video shows he spent 25 minutes on the ground trying to get to the toilet and died in that position. Officers claim they checked on him, but the video proves otherwise. Carlos was just 16 years old. Number 3. Children murders. Of course, it's not just in facilities that children die. Take a look at the case of Sergio Hernandez Guerreca and his friends. They were teenage boys who were, boys being boys, acting out against authority. In June of 2010, they started running across a shallow concrete riverbed of the Rio Grande, marking the border between the U.S. and Mexico. An agent quickly came forward to try to deter them. A few ran back, leaving just one boy who was detained. The others started throwing rocks at the officer from across the border, standing now in Mexico, in a feeble attempt to get their friend back. The agent pointed the gun at the boys and shot Sergio to death from across the border. Number 2. Contraband. Border agents are given a few more rights to travelers' bodies than, say, TSA. No warrant is necessary if they suspect that you have contraband on or in you. This leniency has led to several lawsuits against the agency, including that of Ashley Cervantes, who was returning to Nogales on foot legally and was accused of smuggling. What followed is shocking, even for this list. They handcuffed the 19-year-old woman to a chair, checked her with drug-sniffing dogs, and ordered her to undress and squat to be checked by an investigator. Then they moved her to a hospital to be probed forcefully in her genitals and anus. She's not the only one either. Another woman, who kept her identity anonymous, was not only held and examined the same way, but then also charged $5,000 for the medical bills. These cases and many others, performed on both men and women, resulted in no contraband at all. Number 1. Vigilantes. As if the official Border Patrol weren't savage enough, some local vigilantes have, in the past, taken border justice into their own hands. In 2002, 12 immigrants were crossing illegally, waiting for smugglers, when 2 men appeared in camouflage, shooting them all to death. In recent times, there seems to be a growing trend of citizen Border Patrol hunting migrants. While some are organized crime, others are as clear as the 76-year-old rancher who shot an immigrant asking for water and was fined only $4,000 and given a misdemeanor. Thanks for watching. Illegal crossings, even for supposedly the best of reasons, into the United States is a dangerous and heart-rending problem for both sides of the border. What do you think about the problem? Let us know in the comments. We'd appreciate it if you'd subscribe, click the bell, and give this video a like if you found it interesting.